arguing, always threatening war.
You make them sound real.
Not at all, they are myths. Stories that the ancients that told themselves to explain the ceases of nature. They imagined the gods to be greater versions of themselves, magnificently powerful, but still prone to all the human weaknesses, like jealousy, anger, and, well, especially lust. There were several occasions when the gods would come down to earth and, how should I put this, Percy? What's proper name for the offspring of a human being and a god?
Demigod?
Precisely. Many of these demigods became great heroes, like Hercules and Achilles.
Mr. Brunner rolls his wheelchair in front of a frieze that depicts a warrior fighting a sea monster.
Here's a picture of another. Can you name it?
As Percy stares at the image, something astonishing happens. The Greek letters move, transforming themselves into English words. Perseus battles the sea monster.
Perseus?
Well done, Mr. Jackson. Now, let's move on to the Hall of the Pharaohs, where I will introduce you to some Egyptian artifacts.
Uh-oh. Mrs. Dodds, what are you doing here?
She leads Percy into a side gallery, ignoring the sign that reads, "Under renovation."
There is scaffolding against the walls, and the display cases are covered with sheets.
Are we allowed in here? Did I do something wrong? Miss Dodds, here you go.
Percy looks around in astonishment. Mrs. Dodds has disappeared. Where is it?
Following the sound of Mrs. Dodd's voice, Percy looks up at the ceiling. She is perched atop the scaffolding and is changed into a monster. Her arms and legs are leathery wings, tipped with fierce talons. Her eyes blaze with rage.
She swoops down and snatches Percy up in her claws. "Give me that lightning bolt or I'll rip your heart out."
Suddenly, Grover and Mr. Brunner appear in the room.
Release him, or I will tear you to pieces.
Hissing angrily, Mrs. Dodds drops Percy onto the floor. Then she flies through a window, shattering it. Within seconds, she is just a dot in the sky.
What fury, concealed in our school. I should have suspected. Now that they know who Percy is, we'll have to move him to the camp immediately.
The camp? What are you talking about?
Mr. Brunner reaches into his coat and pulls out a ballpoint pen. Then he rolls his chair over to Percy and hands the pen to him.
Guard this well. It is a powerful weapon, used only in times of severe distress.
A pen?
Take him to his mother, Grover. She'll know what to do, and don't let him out of your sight.
A few hours later, Grover, Sally, and Percy are driving into the mountains.
Where are you taking me, Mom?
To a camp for special people.
I get it. Another place for losers.
No, not at all. Percy, this all has to do with your father.
My father? I can't remember anything about him.
He loved you, Percy. Leaving you was the most difficult thing he ever did, but he didn't have any choice.
She would have said more, but suddenly a cow drops out of the sky. Then another.
Is it just me, or is it raining cows?
Sally tries to keep the car on the road, but then a monster, a great horned thing, appears right in front of them.
The monster rips the door off the car, reaches in, and grabs Sally.
Run, Percy!
What's going on? Put my mom down.
As she struggles in the monster's arms, Sally begins to turn into light. Then she fades away.
No!
The pen, Percy. Remember the pen.
Percy fumbles for the pen his teacher had given him. When he clicks it, it turns into a gigantic sword.
Grief-stricken and terrified, Percy fights the monster.
Go, Percy. That's right. Take him down.
They battle for a long time until Percy plunges the sword into his heart.
I killed it.
That was one nasty Minotaur. But we've got to get out of here before they send reinforcements. Camp Half-Blood is just over the hill. Come on.
Grover kicks his shoes off as he speaks.
Grover, your feet, they look like donkey hooves.
They're goat feet, if you must know.
I don't understand.
The politically correct term for what I am is a sitar, and you're a demigod. But if we don't get out of here, what we're both going to be is dead. Camp Half-Blood is where they train people like you to become heroes, to harness your powers and accomplish great feats.
My powers?
Go ask that Minotaur if you don't believe you've got powers, or better yet, ask him. Welcome to Camp Half-Blood, Percy.
Mr. Brunner? You're a centaur?
And you, Percy, are the son of Poseidon. Your adventures are just beginning.
The end.
Yay! Woof, 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 woof.
We should
got
throw
power.
this. We should throw this script.